Jai Shri Ram. Have you heard of Samudra Manthan? Today we are going to discuss about the reason for Samudra Manthan and its outcome. Samudra Manthan happened during the Satya Yuga. Once, when Lord Indra was riding Airavata, his divine elephant, he met sage Durvasa. To honor Lord Indra, sage Durvasa offered him a divine garland. Indra placed the garland on his elephant's head. The strong scent of the flowers attracted the bees. Annoyed by the bees, the elephant threw the garland and trampled it. This enraged the sage, as the garland was believed to be the dwelling of Shri and was to be treated as a sacred offering. Here, Shri is referred to goddess Lakshmi. Sage Durvasa cursed Lord Indra and all the other gods, declaring that they would lose their power and be bereft of energy, fortune and strength. As a result, the Devas lost everything. After some time, a war broke out between the Asuras led by King Mahabali and the Devas led by Indra. The Devas were the sons of Aditi and the Asuras were the sons of Diti. Both Diti and Aditi were daughters of Daksha Prajapati and wives of sage Kashyapa. Thus, the Devas and the Asuras were cousins. In the war, the Asuras led by King Mahabali gained control over all the three worlds. The Devas then approached Lord Vishnu for help. Lord Vishnu scolded Indra for disrespecting the elderly sage Durvasa. He advised the Devas that only the Amrita at the bottom of the ksheerasagara, the ocean of milk, could restore their lost strength and power. Lord Vishnu also explained that it would be impossible for the Devas to churn such a vast ocean on their own. He asked the Devas to befriend the Asuras and form an alliance. As advised by Lord Vishnu, the Devas befriended the Asuras and formed an alliance, agreeing to share the nectar of immortality, the Amrita. Both parties joined forces to churn the ksheerasagara, the ocean of milk. To begin the churning, they used Vasuki, the 1,000-headed king of serpents, as the churning rope, and Mount Mandara as the stirrer. The Asuras insisted on holding the head of the snake, while the Devas agreed to hold its tail. With an immense strength, both sides began churning the ocean vigorously. As the churning continued for years, Vasuki, worn out by the intense friction, fanned the cliffs of Mount Mandara. A great amount of venom was disgorged from Vasuki's mouth. This venom, upon melting the rocks of the mountain, turned into a deadly poison called Halahala. Halahala began to spread, threatening to destroy the entire universe of gods, asuras and humans. In desperation, the gods sought the protection of Lord Shiva. Along with the Devas, Lord Vishnu requested Lord Shiva to save the world by consuming the poison. Lord Shiva drank the lethal Halahala as if it were nectar. As soon as he drank it, Devi Parvati placed her hand on his throat to prevent the poison from spreading throughout his body. As a result, Lord Shiva's throat turned blue, and from then on, he came to be known as Neelkantha, the blue-throated one. Lord Shiva then returned to his abode Kailash with his wife Parvati. The churning of the ocean continued. However, Mount Mandara, used as a stirrer, sank into the netherworlds. Again, the Devas approached Lord Vishnu for help. Lord Vishnu took the form of a tortoise, kurma avatar, and placed Mount Mandara on his back to serve as a base for the churning of ocean. He lay recumbent at the bottom of the ocean, supporting the mountain and stabilizing the process. After many years of churning, several divine beings and objects emerged from the ocean. Dhanvantari, the divine physician, surfaced carrying his staff and water vessel. Divine apsaras like Rambha, Menaka, Punjisthala, and many others emerged and chose Gandharvas as their companions. Varuni, the goddess of wine and daughter of Varuna, emerged. Shravas, a 7-headed divine horse, emerged and was given to King Bali. Kamadhenu or Surabhi, the wish-granting cow, was given to the sages. Airavata and several other celestial elephants emerged and were taken by Indra. Kaustubha, the most valuable divine jewel in the universe, was accepted by Lord Vishnu. Parijata or Kalpavruksha, the wish-fulfilling tree, was taken to Indraloka. Chandra, the moon, emerged and was adorned by Lord Shiva. Many other valuable gemstones surfaced purchased and were distributed among the Devas and Asuras. Jeshta, the goddess of misfortune, also emerged. Devi Lakshmi, the goddess of fortune, emerged and Lord Vishnu married her. Finally, the Amrita, the ambrosial nectar of immortality, emerged from the ocean. Upon seeing the pot of nectar, both Devas and Asuras started fighting for it. To resolve the conflict, Lord Vishnu assumed the form of the enchanting maiden Mohini. Everyone was mesmerized by her beauty. She asked the Devas and Asuras to sit in rows on either side and began distributing the nectar. Even Brihaspati, the preceptor of the Devas, was enchanted by Mohini's beauty. As he looked closely, he noticed that her feet resembled those of a man. Recognizing them as Sri Charana, Lord Vishnu's feet, his illusion broke and he venerated her as Vishnu's Maya. Mohini began serving the nectar to the Devas first. However, a witty Asura named Rahu disguised himself as a Deva and joined the Devas now. As soon as he drank some nectar, Suryadev and Chandradev identified him and alerted Mohini. Lord Vishnu, still in Mohini's form, immediately beheaded Rahu with a Sudarshana Chakra before the nectar could pass his throat. However, since Rahu had already tasted a drop of the nectar, his head became immortal. From that time onward, his severed head was known as Rahu and his body as Ketu. Mohini then distributed the remaining nectar exclusively among the Devas. With their strength restored, the rejuvenated Devas defeated the Asuras in battle and regained their former glory. The churning of the ocean was complete, a cosmic lesson in unity, sacrifice, and divine intervention. And so end the tales of Samudra Manthan, a story that reminds us that light follows darkness, that even poison can give birth to healing, and that the divine always watches over those who seek balance. If you found this story fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more epic tales from Indian mythology. Until next time, Jai Shri Ram.